Hi, this is Bill. I'm the salty old Marine. What goes into a VA disability claim? That's a terrific question. So when you submit a disability claim, you can't just click on the thing and say, disability claim, done. Well, I guess you can, but that's not going to succeed. So the first thing you have to do is tell the VA what you are filing a disability claim for. And if you do it online, it's going to look up what you're typing and try and match it with a disability that the VA recognizes. So if you say, I'm filing a claim for tinnitus, as you begin typing the word tinnitus, it'll pop up a list of possibilities, and there's the word tinnitus, and you click on that, and that's what you're filing a claim for. If you're filling out a piece of paper to file your claim and mail it in, you could write anything you want on there, but be advised, if it's not a claim the VA recognizes, it's not going to go anywhere. So, you need to make the claim for something the VA recognizes. If you work with a VSO, a Veteran Service Organization, they should know what the valid claims are, what's the list of things you could claim, and they'll put in the correct answer for what you're trying to claim. So if you say, I'm claiming a stub toe, well, there is no VA disability for a stub toe. A VSO will tell you that. If you do it online, that will tell you that. But if you just fill out the piece of paper, the claim form, and mail it in, and you put down stub toe, well, you've done yourself a disservice because there is no such disability. So that's the first thing. Okay, so you have to know what you're filing your disability for. Second thing we're going to need is a personal statement. In that personal statement, which again you can fill out online, or you can have your VSO do it, or you can pull down the PDF form and fill it out and mail it in, however you want to do it. But in that personal statement, you're going to explain what happened, active duty, when it happened, how it happened, and most importantly, how it affects your life day to day now. Why is that important? The reason it's important is because the VA, bless their hearts, doesn't care that you were injured in combat or that you fell off a truck and broke your leg. There's no disability for that. There is a disability for what happens to you today that affects your ability to have a social life, a family life, or to earn an income. That's the only thing the VA cares about in terms of disability. Please understand that. It's not personal. So if you were injured in service, but you're all better now, no disability. Disability is something that affects you today, now. So make sure you understand that. Make sure your personal statement explains that. Let's go back to my tinnitus example. I use that a lot. I suffered tinnitus while I was in the service. I still have tinnitus. Two things. Third thing, my tinnitus affects me every day. That loud noise makes it hard for me to concentrate at work. It makes me less efficient. It makes me crabby around my friends and relatives. It makes me hard to get along with at times. It makes me need to put on the earphones and quiet place and not have a lot of loud noise around me. I can't take it. And a lot of you who have tinnitus know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I put in my personal statement. What happened? I was exposed to loud noise while I was in the service. When did it happen? While I was in boot camp on the rifle range. How did it happen? My earplug fell out. My drill instructor wouldn't let me put it back in. How does it affect me today? That goes in your personal statement. If you need help with that, my suggestion would be, for those of you who are willing, use AI. Go to ChatGPT, go to Gemini, whatever you like, and ask, help me with my personal statement for tinnitus, which affected me in this way. or affects me in this way, I should say. And it will write a really nice little statement. Please don't just take that and run with it. You're going to have to tailor that to your own circumstances. And again, I've said this before, be truthful, right? Fraud is a bad thing, and just don't do it. So, explain your symptoms, the symptoms you have today. If you have corroborating evidence that you would like to submit, that goes in a claim as well. For example, if you complained about tinnitus while you were on active duty, remember I told you in one of my previous videos to get a copy of your medical records? That's what it comes in handy for. Comb those medical records. Find that incident. Make a copy of that. Upload that to the portal along with your personal statement. Now, if it's in your record book, they can most likely find it anyway. But it really helps if you just point them right to it. Here's my record book where it says that. I went to sick bay. I said I had tinnitus. Right there. Got it? Make it clear. Okay. If you have friends that you served with, or if you were married at the time and your spouse can attest to you complaining about your tinnitus, or how you got your tinnitus, or how it affected you, they can write what's called a buddy letter, which is just a statement, like your personal statement. It's their personal statement, only they're attesting to what happened to you, right? So they write it down, again, what they know. They know that it happened at this time, at this date, at this place, how it happened, what you said to them about it, how you complain about it, how it affects your daily life from their point of view, right? That goes into their buddy letter, and that goes into your claim. If you have them, great. If you don't have them, well, do the best you can. Point is that all of that testimony matters. If you kept a journal, I don't know. I never kept a journal. Did you? Some people did. If you're a diary person and you kept a journal, great. That's valid too. Put that in there. Make a copy of it. Upload it to your portal as part of your claim. Anything you've got that would tend to prove the incident happened while you're in service, put that in. Okay, so now we've talked about filing the claim and choosing what the disability is that you're claiming. It has to be a valid disability that the VA recognizes. Your personal statement, your buddy letters, any documentation you have to back up what actually happened. Now, the next part is you need to have a current diagnosis. Now, in the case of tinnitus, that's one of those few medical issues that I depended on the VA C&P examiner to make that diagnosis for me. In other words, I didn't go to my doctor and say I have tinnitus and get him to write it down on a piece of paper so I could give it to the VA. I could have, but I didn't do that. In the case of tinnitus, and probably just for the case of tinnitus, the C&P examiner wrote down diagnosis tinnitus. Don't count on that for other things. For example, when I filed my claim for PTSD, I went to the VA. I made an appointment with a psychologist. I explained what happened. I asked for therapy. I got therapy. When I got the therapy, I was interviewed by more than one psychologist at more than one occasion. They put me through a battery of tests, and they said, this veteran has PTSD. Okay, that is a current diagnosis. That went into the claim, and that should go into your claim. So again, the in-service event and the current diagnosis. Finally, the last thing your claim needs is what's called a nexus, a connection between your in-service event and your current diagnosis. Now, you'll hear online about people buying things called nexus letters, and that is certainly one way to do that. Those are usually generated by medical professionals who are experienced in your disability, who are willing to look at your records, talk to you if necessary, and write a statement to the VA with their experience and stating that there is at least as likely as not a connection between your current diagnosis and what happened to you in the service. Don't feel like you have to do that. In fact, in many cases, it's not going to be necessary. The CNP examiner can also make the connection. So when you go to your CNP, your compensation and pension exam, that examiner will fill out a DBQ. That examiner will make a nexus. Now, they may say, in my opinion, it is less likely than not that the current diagnosis is related to the in-service event. So if your case is not strong, you cannot depend upon the CNP examiner making that connection. Speaking only for myself, for tinnitus, I left it to the CNP examiner, and that worked. For PTSD, I left it to the CNP examiner, and that worked. However, for future claims, which are more complex and may require the assistance of a third party, I personally am willing to engage that medical professional and pay their fee to get that connection made so that the VA understands that there is in fact a connection. That's going to be a subject of another video. But for right now, I just wanted to go through what are the steps of a claim. So we've talked about it. Claim something that actually is a disability in the VA portal, right? Upload your personal statement. Upload your proof, anything you have. Upload your buddy letters. Get a current diagnosis and upload that. And if you've got everything submitted that you think you need for that claim, and that should do it for most of us, file the claim. If you followed my advice and put in an intent to file, you've got a year from that intent to file to finish gathering all that information, upload that all to the portal, or give it to your VSO, or mail it in, and finalize the claim. And then the claim begins processing. Okay, that's what goes into a claim. You may have questions. If you do, please ask me. Ask me in the comments. I'll do my very best to answer. This is Bill. I am the Salty Old Marine. Please like, share, subscribe, and as I said, leave a comment. I need those comments. Ask me questions. Tell me to shut up. I don't really care. Leave some comments. It really helps the channel to grow. And we've got to get the word out, right? Okay. As always, have a great day.